Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a pick of the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Get hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay solid just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dough. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
I was diagnosed with depression in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I describe mine as background music. That's where I am with mine now. It's background. It's like, have you ever been in a store and you didn't even realize the music was playing until you realized the music was playing? It was always there. It never stopped, but you didn't even realize the music was playing until the music was playing. That's how I am with depression. Like the sadness is there. It's always there. And most of the time I don't realize that is there until I realize that it's there. Certain things trigger it. And that's when I learned, okay, maybe today is a day. The last 2 weeks have been weeks where I have truly had to slow down and stop trying to pretend like it's because of something else. Because like we will make excuses like, oh, I'm not really sad. Maybe I'm just last week when you actually caught me in the park, I was running 5 miles. I was struggling. Oh my God, mentally, I was struggling. Physically, I was fine. Mentally, I was struggling. That's why you kind of caught me singing a couple songs, because I was mentally struggling. And I was like, well, maybe I just did way too much. Maybe 5 miles was way too much to run too soon. But it wasn't. You were having a mental breakdown, babe. Stop making an excuse for that. Be honest. Not the Christian language is like, oh, you can't speak that into existence, but it still is.
Yeah, it's already
I'm still sad even when I don't say it. In fact, I really can't deal with the fact that I'm sad until I say out loud, I'm sad. And let me figure out how I'm going to go through this emotion. Not necessarily fix it. I don't need to fix it. I don't have to turn off the music in the store. But I need to allow it to go back to the background and stop being the damn soundtrack.
Respect. Respect. Because I noticed and not because me and my girl, we were awkwardly staring at you because we were unsure if it was you or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, she ain't running no park here.
Not just randomly.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, this personality is not right there.
Yeah.
And then she looked at you and then went to Instagram and held it up to you as you were running. And I was like, oh yeah, that's her.
Yes, one time for your girl and her detective skills. I love that.
She was good. She's good. Good.
I love that for her. But yeah, that was me. Y'all like caught me in the middle of, and you probably looked at me and you couldn't even tell that mentally I was struggling, but I was.
Couldn't. You looked like you were doing fine. Looked like you were just focused on your run and singing.
I was focused on not having an emotional breakdown in that moment. And that's how so many of us are moving through this life right now. So many of us are moving through it just like that, just trying to keep our shit together. And we look like we got it together behind the scenes, behind the brain. It was struggle central. But again, also my identity is not in my struggle, but I'm also not carrying any shame if I struggle anymore.
I hear that.
Because it's very moment. Everything is a moment. Nothing is permanent. Nothing. That's gonna change in just a minute. But while it's here right now, what is it teaching me?
Right. I'm looking at that from a career aspect as well. Mm-hmm. I recently got the job that I wanted about.
Hey, congrats.
I know, right? About 7 months ago, I got the job that I wanted. I had been working there for almost a year, and they was like, you know what? Screw that. We bring you on fully. And I'm like, yay, great. So I'm loving my job. I'm learning. I'm getting sent to places to get
Mhm.
training and seeing more of the world than I knew,
Mhm.
So I'm really enjoying it. And that's when I really paid attention to the words you were saying on this last episode.
Mhm.
Especially you gave another analogy. I feel
Mhm.
like I'm just goddamn quoting you.
Look, I am the queen of analogies, okay?
Good. So I don't feel weird. But
Yeah.
you gave the comparison about going out and having fun like you were drunk.
Mm.
And I knew exactly what you meant. It isn't so much as like showing your ass, it's
Mhm.
just enjoying life without any inhibition, like anything
Mm.
just holding you back, just
Mm.
being free in the moment and just
Yeah.
embracing it for what it was. And it's been a minute since I've done that.
Yeah. You know what? I think we all have, and recently, like, I wanted to go to Essence Fest,
Mm.
right? And I had the unique opportunity of not only having a place to stay that I did not have to pay for,
Oh,
all access to
oh.
Essence, like I had the dream situation, and one of my favorite artists, who's Lucky Day, I wanted to see him so bad, but I just refused to allow myself into a space with a bunch of people because I was like, nope, I will be way too anxious, I will not have a good time, blase blase. Like, I have come up with every excuse why I should not go and have the time of my life. Why?
Talking yourself out of opportunities. That is
Talking
Jeremy.
yourself out of a damn good time.
Man, that is me to a fault. But
Yeah.
I've grown to embrace these two words.
Mhm.
Fuck it. Fuck it has been like the best thing that's happened to me.
Babe, listen,
Because
fuck it is one of my favorites.
like you do with people, I do with certain financial decisions. Like
Mm,
it could be literally to better something that I'm passionate about. And
mhm,
I will have buyer's remorse on it and talk myself out of doing something for myself.
mm,
And just, I want to say over the last month, I had my lady friend approach me and be like, yo, you take care of everything.
mhm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And I found, and I started doing research on why I have such an issue of making purchases. It's trauma, just like you were saying. It was
Uh-huh.
growing up not having, and
I
when you
know.
do make a purchase, you feel like you're making an irresponsible purchase
Mhm,
because it could go to something that you need, but not knowing
mm,
you've already met all of the needs that you have
mm,
already.
mm. That is, like, especially with this, like, rent increase, I'm like, "Oh," but you know what? What's funny is every time, s even with the rent increase happening, there was always a provision already in place.
It's true.
Like, that we are living in a time where we are so abundant that even if something, again, like the rent increase happens, there's already a provision down the line, and sometimes we don't see it because it's further down the line, but sometimes it's just having that faith until you get to that point. But we be trying to cross bridges long before we get there. that's
Oh,
that's why half of us experience anxiety. You don't need a pill for that. You need to stop living in a space where you haven't even been yet. Like, stop going over that. Like, you trying to, it's almost like, being at the bottom of stairs and just expecting to be at the top. Like, baby, you ain't even gonna try and walk up these stairs. You just like Harry Potter to the top.
right. Look, you better
Snap your
stop pulling
fingers.
my card, cuz.
Right. Let's go through the process of walking up these stairs. Our anxiety tells us that we got to get to the top, but it never breaks down the process of us getting to the top of the stairs. Just, the fact that we got to get to the stairs is all we know. What we know is eventually I got to pay this rent. Now, I don't know what the process is along the way, but I know I got to pay this rent. Meanwhile, along the way, halfway to my destination, the provision kicks in, and I shouldn't have had to worry about that to begin with. But I
Oh,
have psyched
man.
myself out of so much shit because I create these scenarios that do not exist. And I do the same thing, like you said, with money, because I have grown up in a household where there was this illusion of there not being enough, but there was always
Mm,
enough. There was always enough, but the illusion was there wasn't enough because, just like, a lot of Black people, my father grew up, his father died when he was in high school. And so his mother was by herself with 5 kids making something happen. And so he had this idea that there was never enough. Meanwhile, there was always enough. The needs were always met. And some of the wants were met too. Some of the desires were met too. But he couldn't see that because he was so focused on, well, what happens when the next time I need? The next time you need is already covered.
Right.
The next time you need is already covered. Why are you already over there? Okay. Stop trying to jump from the bottom of the stairs to the top. You got to process. You got to walk up the stairs to get to the top. Stop trying to jump from the bottom to the top. That is crazy.
You know, I was listening to one of the few pastors that I enjoy, Stephen Furtick. That white guy speaks to my soul, and it's hilarious because I always refer to him as that. If I get to interview him, I'm gonna make sure I tell him that. But
Hey.
but he says success and the journey is not this grand adventure you think it is. It's just a series of small steps. Bruh.
You know what's crazy? I got into this business 10 years ago, and the goal was to be syndicated. And in April of this year, I got that. My voice is heard in over 40 markets across the country, including spaces like Chicago, Las Vegas. Like, I am on the legendary WGCI. It blew my mind because like that was one of the spaces I wanted to do radio, and I wanted to be on WGCI. I am currently on WGCI, and I don't know what to do with the fact that I have achieved this goal. It doesn't feel like I thought it would. I had like this grand, this is what it's going to look like when I finally achieve all of this stuff, but none of that.
I know exactly what you mean.
None of that happened. Now, am I happy? Absolutely. Am I putting my heart and my soul into this? Yes. But I feel like now I can see it for what it truly is, which is a drop in a bigger ocean of things that I desire and things I want to achieve. Because that was the overall goal. And now I realize I don't have to have one goal. I don't have to have one purpose in life. I can have several. Who knew?
I'm not there yet. And I think that's the scary part. I'm still focused on my one goal, which is similar to yours, is to I love this city. I love this city from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, I feel you.
My biggest thing is,
you ready to go?
Are you from Mobile? Like
I am born and raised, and I'm ready to go.
And
I do not dance around that because when it's all said and done, I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can. That way, any of the highest powers of this world can hear me when I say it was fun, but I'm ready to go.
I'm coming to that because I'm seeing the end of this stretch for the last, like, I've been doing this since 2018.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing how far this in Mobile can go.
So what's the plan? Have you put together the plan of where you go next?
I haven't, because I have an idea of what I want to do. I just don't know how to go about reaching those markets with what I currently have. I'm having that issue of work and hobby balance because my job requires a lot of me, which I really enjoy. I'm happy to be in the career that I want.
Yeah.
But I absolutely want to do more of my hobby. I want to travel outside of Alabama and say, yo, 2020 is here. 2020 is here. 2020 is here. And,
so do
trying to,
So here was the thing. Before last year, I put it on my vision board that I wanted to do what I'm doing this year. But I looked at my life, and because you said something that struck, I looked at my life and there was nowhere for me to do what I'm doing right now.
Right.
I had my plate so full. When the hell was I going to have time to do a syndicated show? So I started making space for it. I started looking at some of the things that I was doing, the things that I was spending money on, that I was spending energy on, the people that I was connected to. Does any of this make sense for what I said that I wanted? And when it didn't, and if it did not make sense, it had to go. I started really disciplining myself beforehand. Get to work at a certain time, because if you have time to do A, B, C, and D, then you can leave an extra 2 hours in the day to now record this show. So I would do that. Like I had already set my life up so that when the syndication came, I could just slide that puzzle piece in. I left space for it long before it happened. It took a whole full year and some months, a year and some change, but I already had space for it because I told myself I was serious about what it was that I wanted. So I started making space for it. That's the thing about manifestation. Like everybody's like, oh, you want to manifest? Wait until the new moon. And we sit in our little postures and I want this. I'm manifesting. But manifesting is a process. Okay, so you want to manifest your dream home. Babe, do you have down payment money for your dream home? No. Okay, so have you come up with a plan for your down payment for your dream home, not to mention the job that's going to maintain said dream home? Okay, manifestation is a process. Again, if you want to get to the top of the stairs, you got to climb them. Hello and praise God.
Man,
create your process, babe.
I hear you.
Because we could talk about it all day long, about all the dreams and ambitions and the things that you want to do. But at some point, while you're out here daydreaming, stop putting boundaries on yourself. Go get your shit. You want it, go get it. And I'm not going to tell you it's going to be cute. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be fun. I'm going to tell you that you are going to struggle. You're going to lose. You're going to wonder if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're going to wonder if you're headed in the right direction. This shit is going to get crazy. You're going to lose some sleep and maybe even your damn sanity. It's part of climbing the stairs.
I want that though. I know is
so go get it. We keep waiting for this predestination thing to happen, right? Because it's all already figured out for us. Without works, though,
it's dead.